This video describes a new procedure added to Statgraphics version 20 for creating hierarchical tree maps. A hierarchical tree map displays rectangles for 2 or 3 nested factors, with the size of the rectangles being proportional to a numeric variable. Here you see a tree map for miles per gallon in highway driving of 93 different makes and models of automobiles. They're first divided into larger rectangles according to their type. Then there's a smaller rectangle for each model. This is the Statgraphics version 20 data input dialog box for creating a hierarchical tree map. You need to specify the name of a numeric column in the data field, and then 2 or 3 categorical factors in which to divide the data. Here I've asked it to plot rectangles with sizes proportional to the miles per gallon in highway driving. And I've asked it to divide it into rectangles based first upon the type of the vehicle, then whether or not it's a domestic rather than a foreign vehicle, and finally to label it with the make and model. Here I'm using the juxtapose function in Statgraphics to actually put those two columns together. I've also used the select field to ask it to plot only data for which the number of passengers was more than 5. Pane options also provides other choices. First, I can specify what I want plotted with the labels. Do I want the count of the number of observations that fall in a rectangle? Do I want the sum of all their values, the average, the percentage, or nothing? I can also ask it to add level 2. This is relevant if there are 3 levels because normally only the last level is plotted. I can specify a label percentage cutoff below which labels will not be plotted. This helps eliminate some of the clutter on a very complicated tree map. With respect to the text position, I can specify where within the rectangle the text should be displayed. I can specify a scaling factor less than 1 in order to reduce the size of the labels. I can turn off the legend if I don't want it, and I can tell it here how many decimal places to display in the labels. Here's a tree map showing the miles per gallon in highway driving for all cars with more than 5 passengers. They're divided first according to their type, secondly by whether they're domestic or foreign, and then the rectangles themselves are the particular models. There aren't many foreign cars, but if you look, for example, here, you'll see the Mazda, the Nissan, the Volkswagen, and the Toyota all fall in their own rectangle. Finally, the hierarchical tree map procedure also creates a data table. Here's a portion for the map we were just looking at. It shows the types, whether or not they're domestic, make and model, then shows miles per gallon in highway driving, the percent of the grand total, the percent of the type total, and the percent of the domestic total.